All right, Melbourne, Australia. A venue that I have. We've got a wet race incoming. Interesting. Points could be available. Straights there for Albon. I think that might work. I mean, let's see. We'll just simulate this session. We won't get out of Q1. But let's see if we've outqualified an Aston Martin again. We have. Nick de Vries has outqualified the pair of them, but Alex Albon is last. Okay, so how far off Q2 were we? Half a second off Daniel Ricciardo with Nick de Vries. De Vries is doing really well. I haven't actually checked out his stats. But yeah, he's put almost half a second on Albon. Just edged out the two Astons. That's solid work from the Dutchman. So we're going to have a dry start. Then it's going to start sprinkling with rain. Then we've got heavy rain. And then it's going to have a little dry spell here. So this could be a race of many stops. We're going to start on the soft tyre. Both cars. But we're going to go all-out attack in the opening laps. And we're going to see how much ground we can make up before the rain hits. And the trick will be to make sure we time our move onto the wet tyres perfectly. And we're going to have some red lights to start us off in Australia. It's go. Let's jump on board with, we'll go on board with Albon because then we can see everything that's happening. We're going to steam down to turn 1. De Vries is looking down the inside. We've got a crash at the first corner. It is Nick de Vries who is off the track. He's got front wing damage. It's a terrible start for the Williams team. So we will... Well, we're going to have to fix the front wing. Cancel. Let's just keep the tyres as they are. Pit this lap. Let's have a look at the replay. What has happened here? Down into turn 1. De Vries pulls out into the middle of the road. And then clashes with Lando Norris. And a bit of front wing is missing. They're still sliding around. Maybe these are the bugs you were talking about, Tom? De Vries is just spinning around in circles. Okay, we've got another replay. We've seen that already. And now he's back on track. Where's Albon? There he is. They're only halfway around the lap. We've also got a penalty for Nick de Vries. We changed the tyres? I don't remember. Anyway. We had a yellow flag. That's Verstappen off the track. It is all happening on the opening lap here in Melbourne. Max Verstappen from the lead, locks up and decides that he can't get back on the track. Wow. Incredible. We're back on board with Albon. We'll jump off board. Albon overtakes Verstappen, something we didn't always see. But we are hustling the Haas, and we're actually going down the inside of Mick Schumacher, who is on hard tyres. We're the only car on softs, so we've got a real advantage. Maybe we don't need to be attacking quite so much. Maybe we can just go standard. Handed the Ferraris first and second. Zhou Guan Yu going round the outside of Tsunoda ahead of us. A wild opening few laps here in Melbourne, and it's about to get even crazier because we've got about 3 minutes until the rain. Start to the season. Right, okay, we have got some rain incoming. So when it gets to about 1 millimetre, that's the trigger point. In fact, I think it's going to get that way. So where is Albon? He's missed the pit entrance, as has everybody else. So we'll box him here, but we're going to box De Vries now. We've got some heavier rain coming in and around lap 25. Yeah, we're serving the penalty now. Intermediate tyres on. Nick de Vries is on his way, but he's almost a lap down. Look, there are the two Ferraris. Well, the lead Ferrari of Leclerc at least, and they're all coming into the pits. Here comes Albon. Tsunoda hasn't pitted. Verstappen's right up our chuff. What absolutely wild scenes in the pit lane. De Vries is going to need to push. We might as well just put him on deploy. and go for it. Albon comes out, still in 14th. Verstappen has fallen back from him. We'll just keep an eye on Albon and make sure we keep him somewhere in the fight. We're on the verge of the points here. We're going to come out right behind Esteban Ocon. We're fighting for a championship point all of a sudden. We've leapfrogged Zhou and Magnussen and Tsunoda, as has Stroll, who's ahead of them. He's got 7.5 seconds back to... I think Verstappen's gone into the pits again. Is he pitted? Yeah, he's pitted twice. Why did Verstappen go back in? How bizarre. All right. Wow, look at this. There's this whole train, including the two Mercedes, at least one Mercedes and a Red Bull and a McLaren. You've got 6 different cars here. You've got Perez, Ricciardo, Gasly, Russell, Ocon and Albon. What on earth is this race? So the next key metric we need to... We've got 10th place. We've lost 10th place. Albon round the outside of Ocon. Just going to mention that we need to keep an eye on the dampness going up to 4 millimeters of rain. We're back up into 10th. Albon absolutely doing bits. Is he going to pass a Red Bull? Why is Perez so slow? He's on wets. Full wets. What on earth is he doing? He's now in the pits. What are Red Bull doing on the pit wall with their strategy? We're still side by side with Ocon, and we're losing chunks of time to the cars ahead of us and the cars behind us. Just follow Ocon. Everything will be all right. We hope. Zhou is now living within 4/10 of us. Is this the move? No. Albon closes the door. How about this time? Oh, side by side. I think we might be about to lose the position. This time we do. Yes. Zhou Guanyu moves into P10. That's a shame. But there's still a long way to go in this race. So far, I think our strategy has been pretty good. Let me know in the chat, or if you're watching after the fact, let me know in the comments what you think of the strategy call so far after 17 laps in the weather system. Box Nick for fresh inters and hope for a safety car. I mean, that's not a bad shout. I mean, what is it, 58 laps? So we're about halfway. So 29, lap 29 would be halfway. So yeah, let's get to lap 29.30 with Nick, and then we'll box him for inters and see if we can take him to the end. Because if we need to do a late switch, we can swing the advantage back in his favour. And obviously, as you say, Tom, a safety car would be perfect. The problem we have for De Vries, safety car wise, is he's now a lap down and they don't do any unlapping of cars on this game, which is really frustrating. So if you are a lap down, that's it. Your race is ruined. There's something to say. Maybe Verstappen went onto wets. Perhaps that's what he did. Can we see the tyre history? Max Verstappen. No, he went... Oh, where is Max Verstappen? Yeah, he did go onto wets. That's why he pitted again. Not only did he throw it off the road, but Red Bull completely dropped the ball on strategy. Right, Albon, what do we do with you? The later we leave it, obviously the more chance we'll get undercut. But if it's one more stop from here, then perhaps a later stop will help us later in the race. We'll have those fresher tyres. We'll be able to push a little bit more. Zhou has gone into the pit lane, but we were some 20 seconds behind, and he's held on to that 10th place. Here comes Charles Leclerc, race leader, to lap us. And any safety car from here now leaves us stranded, basically. We move over and let the Ferrari through. Albon Albon. 20 laps to go. That's nothing for him around Albert Park. Let's put a new set of inters on. That should see him to the end. Fresh set of inters going on. And we are going to stay ahead of Lance Stroll. So hopefully we can hang on to that position. Let's push with the fuel and see if we can get away from the Aston Martin. Yuki Tsunoda is 17th. Lando Norris is still only 18th. Albon just behind Mick Schumacher. Track still drying. This has been a real waiting game. We've just passed Mick Schumacher there. There we go. Let's get a replay of this, I hope. Here we go. Down the inside into turn 3. Muscling his way through there, Alex Albon. Hanging out around the outside and finishing the move off into turn 5. Good stuff. Really nice stuff. Just move this through to the end of the race now. Oh, we've had a crash. We have had a crash. Where's the crash? We've got a safety car. And that confirms us as good as... well, let's just put De Vries on fresh inters. Who's out of the race? It's Ocon out of the race. Here's the accident. It's a Red Bull. Sergio Perez. And, oh. He just decided he didn't like Esteban Ocon anymore. Esteban Ocon didn't want to be in this race. Perez will now have a penalty and will need to head to the pit lane. Is he a lap down as well? He is. So everyone from Ricciardo down is a lap down. So do you know what? I mean, do we stick another set of inters on Albon as well here? And then we'll just go for it. Let's do that. Let's have some fun. Move this up towards the end of the race. Lapped. Oh, hello. Lapped cars may now overtake. They've put it in. Okay. So we're going to be on the lead lap. It's going to be a few laps shootout. Safety car ending this lap. And we are not going to catch it at all. The safety car is there. Okay, well. Well, we might as well go aggressive and push and... There we go. Okay, so we're racing again, and we're only halfway around the lap. Okay, so we are... Where's Magnussen? He's at the end of that straight. Where's De Vries? He's in the first sector, still a lap down. Lance Stroll is 12th. That's a problem for us, because that will bump us down to 10th. So this is kind of backfired. We've taken a risk, but, you know, no risk, no reward. And, you know, it doesn't really matter too much. Unless we start dealing in points, then I can always try and finish 11th in another crazy wet race. That might be where we get some points. Vettel, we've had a crash on track. That's Max Verstappen off the road. Verstappen has crashed. He's crashed into Zhou Guanyu. What on earth was Max Verstappen doing there? It's been an absolute nightmare of a race for Max Verstappen. He's off the track. He's recovered. We finished 17th and 19th, behind both Aston Martins. So it hasn't worked out well for us on this occasion. But worry not. In Albano we trust. let's... I mean, we know we're not going to get out of Q1, so let's just go to simulate. Here we go. 17th and 19th for Albon. Didn't qualify last. That's good. Lance Stroll qualifies last. Ricciardo not getting out of Q1 though, but we are still about half a second off the pace. Imola's a track where we do tend to get a lot of safety cars, so I'm going to do 1 lap less of fuel. Okay, there's a Ferrari on pole position. It's Charles Leclerc. We've got 3, 4, 5 red lights in Imola, and off we go. Down into turn 1, the Tamburello chicane. De Vries still side by side with Vettel. Albon's allowing Stroll to sneak up the inside. We don't like that. Stroll's on the soft tyre. Vettel on the hard. Vries up to 16th there. He's got ahead of Mick Schumacher. We're actually chasing Daniel Ricciardo. We are a little bit short on fuel. We can actually see how De Vries got past the German through the Variante Alta, I think it is, isn't it? Or is it that? Yeah. Oh, they're giving Schumacher the chop. Cool. That could have ended in disaster. The boys and girls in the garage absolutely loving that overtake. And so do I. We need to get past Vettel. There is a way to do this without DRS, so let's do this. And will it work? No. Yes. There we go, but now we'll have Vettel right on our tail with DRS. So it hasn't quite worked out as hoped. Perez ran wide. We've got a yellow flag in sector 3. Bottas has gone off. And that pushes us up to 15th and 18th now. DRS for De Vries. De Vries RS. No? Let me know if that was a terrible pun. Probably. Did we get DRS? We did not. And now we're under pressure from Schumacher behind and Stroll. That's a problem. Where's Albon? He's slowly not closing the gap. Alright, I think we might be back. The PC decided it didn't like that race anymore. It's decided that we can have another go. Okay, let's dive on board with Albon. Don't let Stroll through this time. Sector... Oh, we've got a crash. A huge crash. We've got a red flag. No, Albon, what have you done? What have you done? Why? Why? What is he doing? Red flag, and then Albon, for no reason, just drives into Bottas's car. I didn't even see a replay of what happened. Okay, now what? Whatever next. Okay, so we're going to start from 17th. No, Tsunoda's out, Bottas is out. So we will start 15th and 17th. Well, we'll just stay on those tyres. First red. No, I've had other red flags, but I've not had it quite like this. This was insane. Verstappen's actually got himself in front, and now he starts on pole. 5 red lights again, and oh, That was weird. Albon's got a penalty. And... Ah. I forgot to change the front wing. Oh my gosh. Oh, what is this stream? What is going on? We'll put... That's not how it's supposed to work with the restart. No! We're supposed to have everything fixed. It should have told me you have terminal damage. You must change the wing. What's going on with De Vries? He's fine. Another car has just run wide. Verstappen running wide, but it makes no difference. What on earth is going on in this game now? De Vries having a look round the outside of Mick Schumacher. Ricciardo's got a penalty as well. So we had the rain incoming at the start of the Melbourne race. And we were the only cars on soft tyres. But De Vries took out Norris and that ruined his race. Then we had Verstappen and the Red Bulls doing God knows what. I mean, Verstappen locked up out of the and went off out of the lead on lap 1. Then they put them on wets and they had to stop again when everyone else went on to inters. It was just wild. And now this, that my computer's crashed. Then we've had an instant red flag. I forgot to change Albon's damage because he was stupid enough to drive into the stationary Alfa Romeo. I mean, this has just been the most nuts stream. You saw Verstappen crash into Zhou. Yeah. We've had a crash. Another one. Got yellow flags. Magnussen crashed at turn 7. Oh, well, we've gained ourselves another position. He's still in the race, though, Magnussen. Has he got damage? Yes. What we'll actually do is harvest the first part of this lap. And then what we'll try and do is really put the hammer down and close up. We're actually... I think everyone else changed tyres. We didn't. With De Vries, at least. Yeah, we're now 2.5 seconds behind Schumacher. Got a couple of seconds on Vettel. So Albon is actually gaining loads of fuel. So we need to push with him. Let's just see how things pan out from here. De Vries is now 4 seconds behind Mick Schumacher. So that's just... We don't have a quick enough car. Not too much we can do. Vettel's not closing up on us. We've actually extended the gap by a couple of tenths. We are matching Vettel roughly. I mean, it's what, 0.03 of a second apart. Mick Schumacher 4 tenths a lap quicker. Ricciardo almost a second a lap faster. He's about to be lapped by Hamilton. We are currently, of those now running, we are last and second last, which kind of to be expected. We are with Williams. The car's not very good. Our drivers keep locking up or driving into crashed cars. Another yellow. Oh, there's been a crash. What has happened? Leclerc, I think, has hit De Vries. He's locked up. Will we see him rejoin? No. That was Charles Leclerc in the lead. Crash involving multiple cars. Here we go. There's Leclerc. That is Nick De Vries. And he's just sideswiped the Ferrari. He's giving him the chop again. Ferrari really not happy with that. Leclerc in the pit lane. We're about to get lapped by Verstappen. No, Perez. Right. Sainz is 6 seconds in the lead. He has won the race. What a start to the season for Carlos Sainz. Albon crosses the line 18th. De Vries splits the two Aston Martins. Yeah, a difficult day. We took a risk at the end of the race in Australia. We could have maybe got a point there. But yeah, it's up and down for us. But we're in the mix, you know. We're actually able to do faster lap times than the Aston Martins, although they probably didn't push as much as we did. Albon 2 laps down, mostly because we forgot to change the front wing at the restart. But still haven't got a point. That's good to know. We're now bottom with both of our drivers. De Vries has now moved ahead of Albon, actually, with the 16th place finish. Maybe we just operate on we fire the lowest finishing driver in the championship at the end of the year.